Hello everyone, today I would like to study and analyze the desktop, the office of our Lord and Savior of Lorne. So basically what happens is that Lorne says, I have your pic up on the monitor all the time. So that's how he sees you all the time, talking about Bud. So now he kind of turned his webcam to look at his desktop, I guess. And the decoy, Sherry Twist, towards whom I will forever be grateful. Basically, she took a screenshot of her screen and she edited the bottom with the toolbar, and she only took basically that part. I'm not sure why she did that, why she took a screenshot of the chat with Lorne. But I'm infinitely grateful that she did, because that gives me a topic for today's video. I think she was trying to amass evidence, to accumulate evidence against Lorne. I failed to see how exactly that shows anything. I failed to see how that helps prove anything. Maybe show that he was really obsessed by her and that he meant to do it. Or maybe she was just like, I'll keep that as a personal souvenir. I've often theorized that basically this is Sherry Twist. This is Sherry Twist or Southern Aphrodite. It just makes sense to me. I'm not sure who that could be. I know that for Dateline they use a lot of pictures from contributors and Bertha Justice decoys. So it would make sense really that it's picture of Southern Aphrodite. I know for a fact there are two girls in the pictures, two different girls. So maybe it's both Sherry Twist and Southern Aphrodite. That's my guess. It could be anyone. It could be just random pictures from a random MySpace for all I know. But for some reason I feel this is Southern Aphrodite. So maybe that's why she took the pic. So although you might say there isn't much on that pic to analyze, there's actually a lot of stuff. I'm just going to show the pictures that come before the poem, of course, just to show you the kind of, to have an idea of what her work zone worked out. That's the background, which is blue. But we see a bit before, we see a bit about how she has like a few things where we see her desktop. And I cannot find it. But basically she has a couple basic apps. She seems like a very, not organized, but someone that is secular in how she organizes her things. You can see behind, you might not see, but you have AOL, you have some kind of snapshot program. I'm going to try to change the zooming so you can see. Should see better. So we have Brian. I don't know who Brian is. We have SG. I don't know what it is. AOL. Some photos. Some Brian. Napster. So she's pirating. Yahoo Chat. Napster again. Or one of them is Napster. Another is a music something. Netscape. That's Netscape. I remember the logo. That one. Oh, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not gonna play. That one I don't know what it is with a C. Internet Explorer. That one I have no idea what it is. But that's basically that's the full, except for the bottom, the bar that was edited out. So you're not missing anything. This is what our computer looked like. Screenshot seems like a very bland, ordinary, average stock photo. So that gives you an idea of what it was like for her to chat with Lorne. The desktop, she logged on and that pervert was talking to her. We have, that is spyware, search and destroy. I remember that logo from a long time ago. Napster, Gadwin, print screen, phone verify for Lorne, Amanda, maybe some other people, maybe that's the name of the girl, maybe her name or real name is Amanda. That would help explain it. Or maybe it's just a folder for her personal life. I don't want to put her into that. If she has Napster, chances are that it's also her personal computer, you know. Money Center, CC support, some messenger. She tried to edit it out, and I respect that. I'm not going to invade her privacy. But, yeah, that's the famous credit card. But basically, oh, that's Lorne's apartment. Now Lorne has turned into a ghost. My precious princess, I like calling you that. If there was anything wrong with me, then you are the cure. I am who I am. Your approval isn't needed. That is Lorne's farmer office. It looks very antique with the, you see the curved arcs here. That's a very old style, like in the 40s or even the 30s. That's a very old home. Probably his mom's house. Mood good. That picture was taken back in the time where there was no NBC and there was no holy crusade against NBC. We see a bit about our MySpace. About the Firefox. So she has Firefox. Very bland. She does have AdBlock Plus, which you can see here. So maybe she's a veteran online chatter, basically. But now I want to commentate on Lorne's... I want to commentate on his home office, basically. Okay. What can we say about Lorne's setup? First of all, he really does have her picture up on his monitor all the time. It takes half the screen. It's pretty strange to do that. It's not... And he says, for example, I stare at your picture for an hour. And now, you have an idea of how it went. And there's even a part in the Lornography where he says, like, I went to the floor and I stood up every 15 minutes to take the screensaver off. So it really shows how obsessed he is with her. I really have no problem believing that he really did that. And Lorne, you can just turn off the screensaver, by the way. But anyway, now we see exactly how things were set up. And I suppose that for Lorne, he did think that it was like normal. Like, oh, I have my baby girl. She takes half my monitor. But if you think about it, it's really creepy. Like, I guess Lorne believed that it's romantic. Like, I look at your picture all the time. You're so pretty. No, I just find it creepy. Like, dude, stop being so obsessed with her. I had your picture on my monitor, sweetheart. And he says at one point, like, my neighbors came in my apartment and they saw your pic, and I told them that you were my niece. Like, oh yeah, that's my niece. That's why I have her picture, like, covering half the screen. You fucking moron, Lord. Senor! Oh yeah, this is my niece. I always have her pic, like, for some reason. Like, I just leave it there. It takes half the fucking screen. And this is instant message. It's on Yahoo. That one we have, but there's also a chat they have on MySpace that is not part of the original Lornography. So now, analyzing Lorne's office, we're going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, it doesn't really help me see better. A little bit, maybe. Give me a second. Okay, there's quite a lot to be told about that picture. Let's start with the obvious. This is possibly the cheapest monitor that I've ever seen in my life. Typically, back in the day when they didn't have the LCD flat screens, you had that kind of stuff. And that was 2007. It's not that far away in time. LCD were pretty common, actually, in 2007. I had an LCD screen in 2007. In fact, I still have it. So I just want to check to make sure that I'm not, like, staying good. Sorry, LCD screen commercialize what here? But I'm fairly certain that in 2007, I actually had, like, it was pretty common, like 1964. That's what they say. But I think I had the LCD. It wasn't that much more expensive. Display technology. If you look. Flappy, pin screen. LCD was in 2003. They started being on the market. The real LCD were in 2003. So in 2007, LCDs were fairly common and not that expensive. It was surprisingly not expensive. You could get a good LCD screen for about 150 Canadian. So about maybe 100 US, and you had a decent LCD. This is a flat, I think it's a CRT screen, like an old, like, box. But there were still some pretty decent big screen being made. This is not one of the good ones. This is an extremely cheap screen. It's such a bad screen that it's almost good. It's really, really, really bad. You can tell that by the bezel. The bezel, very large, and the buttons are very cheap. So this is a screen that probably predates the year 2000. It's probably a screen that was, I would say, probably made in the very late 90s. Maybe, I'm trying to think, maybe that's the kind of screen you could buy in 96, 97, maybe. So that screen has 11 years. It seems a bit old for computer screen, but back in the days, stuff was being made to last. The later big screen that were made like in 2001, 2002, 2003, they were much thinner here. There was not that much waste space. So I'm gonna go and be conservative here and say about 98.99 for that screen. So it's a pretty old screen, and given the time, and you can see the resolution sucks. It really sucks. I would say that Lorne, for that screen, there is no way he paid more than $5 for the screen. No way. He might have gotten the screen for free with the computer. The second thing you might notice, this is Internet XP, Windows XP, sorry. A good internet. You can see the color scheme, the blue, the green, the icons. It's a fairly good, it's one of the best operating systems ever made. But just given the age of the computer, there's no way that XP Service Pack 1 is going to run correctly. Like, it's very, well, it's not computer intensive, but for such a dated computer, it's not going to work well. I think Service Pack was a bit later. But all this to say, the computer must have been very laggy. And, you know, Lorne was going on some porn website, installing spyware. But all in all, this is not running smoothly. At one point during the Lornography, he says, like, my computer takes like 15 minutes to boot. Yeah, it's that kind of computer. I had a computer like back in 2006, I think, and it was just annoying. Like, it would take like 20 minutes to boot just because it's bloated and the computer is too slow. The processor really sucks. So all this to say, it's a very shitty computer. Just from the screen and the way it is, you can tell it's a very bad computer. Very old button. I cannot read the brand. Maybe somebody could find like what kind of screen that is. It's a long-lasting screen. It's something old. You can see here some kind of tube. This looks like a microphone to me. It wouldn't make much sense for Lorne to have a microphone on his computer. It's not the most. It's not the first accessory that you buy for a computer, especially for Lorne. But the only explanation for that I can think of is a cheap microphone. So I have to assume it's a microphone. It cannot be anything else, literally, unless he has like a drink with a curved straw. That could be it. But I'm really at a loss for what it could be if it's not that. Aside from that, you can see the paper here. Very clearly, it's rolling paper. So Lorne was rolling cigarettes. I never actually thought about it, but a pack of cigarettes is what, 24 cigarettes? And most people smoke at least half a pack a day, if not one pack. So that's 12 cigarettes, and it's not the easiest thing to roll. I'm guessing that Lorne probably eats about a pack a day. He has every quality, you know, he's such a nice man. So he has to roll 24 cigarettes per day. This must take, even if he's a very fast roller, it must take like at least half an hour every day. Not that he has anything better to do, but it's just a drag and a waste of time. This is time that could be used more productively. Well, not for Lorne, but for most people, I guess. So aside from that, there's some kind of grid behind here, some kind of black grid, and those looks like wires. Like, I did study the placement, and there's the window. You can see the natural light. So he's kind of like stuck on the window. It's very hard to explain how exactly he is. We know based on the angle in the preceding pictures, when we take pictures of him in front, that there's a light here, and it's actually facing the patio. Not the patio, but the back door, basically. That we know. So, what could it be? In my opinion, those are computer wires, but they're too symmetrical, too parallel. So it's very hard to say what it could actually be. I mean, it's pretty strange. It looks like some kind of grid, some kind of stuff to store. I don't know. I really don't know what it could be, because it doesn't seem to be ending there. And that stuff here is kind of floating, but it really looks like a window. It looks like you put the stuff, you know, in the small place in the window. So there's probably a window that stops here. You can look outside to observe the little girls. And the most last thing we can notice is pretty much how messy his desk is. Like it's such a small apartment. He has so little, and he has all kind of crap all around, like here. Just honestly, I look at that and it screams mental illness to me. Like just the way this is set up, the disorganization, the unfinished stuff. It's somebody that has obviously some kind of mental condition. It's just not good. It's not an attractive picture. It's poorly done, and he's like showing that to Kayla, and I don't know what he was thinking when he showed her that. But so that's Lorne's office. Very little space to work. It's not a big desk. You can see that those stuff are basically hanging on the, almost hanging off the table. Some kind of pen holder maybe, some kind of small flyers, or maybe matches maybe. A jar here. That's my guess. Look on the screen. He has a chat with Kayla here, and you can feel the fact, the way it's organized. It's kind of, you can feel the anxiety that Lorne is. A very anxious person. That much is obvious. But the way it's set up, every clear, he has to have his picture of his baby girl there, so he can see her and think about molesting her. So I'm getting that in jail. That picture, that image helps explain why Lorne was a compulsive spender in jail. That's a way to basically fight anxiety. So whenever he feels anxious, he can just look at her picture. And when he was in jail, when he was feeling anxious, he went to buy stuff. And it's quite sad, but then again, Lorne is a piece of shit. Because he's a very anxious person, and that's kind of a soothing ritual, to have this, to have everything so well organized. This isn't something that he set up just for Kayla. This is just how it was on his desktop, and I'm guessing this is the only stuff that he ever did. Well, you can see 4 windows below, but it's probably like the program and all that. But for Lorne, it's not like obsessive compulsive disorder. It's not the same thing. It's more like, I'm smart and I'm intelligent. I'm gonna set something intelligent up. Like everything fits so well. The windows are so aligned. Lorne spent way too much time doing that, and they've only been talking for 5 days. Like this is on 9/23/2007. They had been talking for five days, and not even that much 5 days. And you can see already she's consuming. And for the next 18 plus 7, 25 days, this is how his life is going to be. Lorne is going to have his computer like that. Everything's set up. Shitty background. And it's going to be like that. And there's going to be the computer with the picture of Kayla here. And sometimes he's going to change the picture and look at new pictures of her. But this is his life. This is where Lorne is. And in jail, he probably had a very clear routine, a very clear environment. And that's how he could cope with anxiety, and that and medication. He took medication in jail. What a waste of money, but whatever. So I see a tortured soul. When I look at this pic, I can see that Lorne is genuinely tortured, but he's a pervert, so it's okay. He deserves it. And he's so lost, that the way everything is cluttered and all that. And that's a bottle of water. For somebody that is so broke, it looks like a Dasani bottle of water. That's what it looks like. I fail to see why it's there. Why isn't it like a cup of coffee? Overall, it's a picture that is overly pathetic from a very anxious, mentally ill person. It's all stuck together. There's no space. And he has a big apartment. He has a pretty big apartment. So there's no reason really to have everything in that corner. But we have someone that, overall, that picture shows me that the person who owns the computer, Lorne, doesn't feel at ease in his current situation, and the computer basically becomes the center of his life because of Kayla. But this is just pathetic. To have her picture covering half the screen, and he does mention that in Lornography, it's slightly sad. And just to know that he looked at her and masturbated and thought all those nasty thoughts, it's kind of sad in a pathetic way. So that's it. That's Lorne's office. We're going to look at other pictures very, very quickly. I already talked about that. from the decoy. And I like how that girl here, that's her profile picture. She looks like 11. And on that picture, she's about 15. So I don't know any teenager that would put that picture on their profile. She looks really young. And here she looks 15. So any kid that is 15, they're not going to want pictures where they're 11 years old on their profile. That's just how it is. So what else do we have? That's the talk on the MySpace IM. That's the thing that struck me about that picture. Money center. Maybe Lauren was going to send her money. Good one. The thing that struck me about the conversation they have on MySpace, I understand why she screamed captive. You know, it's not part of the official chat. And in the conversation, she really wants him to talk on the Yahoo Messenger because it's being recorded by a server. But here it's not recorded, so she screenshot it. When I look at that discussion, it just screams creep to me and weirdo and child abductor. Let's read the conversation and look at the pic. It helps add a dimension to it. Hi. Okay, what time do you get out of school? I get home by 4:30. Why? Because I told you we need to plan all this stuff, so I kind of need to know all of this stuff so we can plan it right. And when he says plan, he means raping her. You know, that's not like planning to go to the park and have fun. It's planning to rape her. Okay, what's the name of the town you live in? I know I told you not to tell me, but that's kind of the only way this can happen, so you can tell me. Don't you ever tell anyone else from the internet, though, okay? Look at how creepy that discussion is. Ugh, like, tell me what town you live in. I have your picture, I have your full name. Now I want to know your town. That's just... You know, look, Lorne is a fucking creep. It's really creepy. Wait. If you don't want to tell me, then say it, because all I care about is you feeling safe. What the fuck? You just ask her about her town, where she lives, and you're saying, yeah, I asked you where you live, but only because I want you to feel safe. Like, fuck you, Lorne. You're just trying to track her down. Like, this is sad. He's a child abductor. He's a child pedophile. He's a child rapist. And the way he talks like that, he looks like a creep. He sounds like a creep. Okay, mom's coming. Okay, turn my cam off quick. Fucking asshole piece of shit. Now she took a screenshot of it. That's the discussion that they had on. She took several pictures, I guess. That's the credit card. Like, yo, I got a credit card, and you can kind of read the number. It's written like Lorne Armstrong. Oh, I have a car with my name on it. That's awesome. Now I'm gonna go and max it. I love you too. So that's it. That's the picture. Oh, here we can see. Look how messy that is. Looks at the hoarder. Like, I don't know what that stuff is. Like, it looks like grocery, but we know that Lorne did not buy grocery. So those bags probably contain crap, like his clothes or stuff like that. Some kind of weird box with junk in it. Like, what the fuck is that? Like ropes, plastic stuff. That's Bud, I'm gonna guess. Or maybe it's his clothes. We don't know. Holy shit, it looks sadly... Oh. Daisy. Oh, that's his brother, but I want to talk about that. I want to focus on Tony Alton. Who's those guys? Of course they have beers, you know, it's Lorne. This is Lorne's house, by the way. Paul, Tony, and Alton at my house same day. You see, he talks about the house that he's reparating. And he did that with Paul and Tony and Alton. Know who those guys is, but this is Lorne's house. This is where he was going to. He actually lost that house when he moved to Nashville. I have no idea what happened to that house. I would love to find that house. We kind of have a good look inside. We have another look inside of the house. That's it, fucking idiot. Sorry. Aside from it, this is pretty much all there is. I've done pretty much the rest. This is, I said, I talked about that pig before. Daisy. Pictures of his dogs, because that's how he's gonna... That's a picture of the dog that he sent to Kayla at the beginning, by the way. The black one is Bud. The white one is Daisy. I gave her away. And that's pretty much it. There's the profile. I already did that. I'm glad we have pictures of Lorne's house. So anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to analyze. They talk a bit here. Make sure your volume is turned on. Also, he did have a microphone. Unless it was like a webcam with a microphone on it. But that kind of stuff was rare in 2007. So yeah, he had a microphone. That's amazing. We learned something about it. The straw I was talking about, it's a microphone. I think we passed over it, but you know what I'm talking about. Approved. That thing is a microphone, 100% sure. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.